There's a lot of attention worldwide on one particular driver, Robin Miller.
Well, 2 years ago we met in the pits. It was about 45 degrees. It's really warmed up today for Fernando Alonso. It's up to 52. But you know what? You took to this racetrack like Jimmy Clark and Jackie Stewart and Nigel Mansell. It was almost like you were a natural on an oval. It was the first time you ever saw it. When you look back 2 years ago, does it seem like things were maybe easier than you expected?
No, not really. I think it was not easy, especially when the race came and you know, everyone was not friendly anymore, and you know, you discovered the race probably that day. But yeah, we are here in a completely different situation as a new team, you know, and full McLaren racing, and a great challenge in front of us. But I'm so much looking forward.
My friend set in the fourth turn, had been watching racing for 40 years, said you handled traffic in the race like a guy had been doing it for 20 years. Do you think there's such a thing as being a natural on an oval? You almost seem like you were a natural on an oval. And why is a good road racer so good on an oval so quick?
I don't know really, but yeah, it's true that I felt very comfortable, and yeah, the traffic, which was probably one of the things that we feared more that time, it was not a problem at all in the race. But there's still a lot of things to respect about this place, about the race, and not only on the setup, also the strategic moves, you know, depending which part of the race you are. So a lot of things that I learned 2 years ago, but I need to relearn again, you know, and I don't take anything for granted. Probably emotionally it's going to be different this year because I know what I experienced 2 years ago. But on the technical side, I think we start from zero, and I want to take this race and learn as much as possible the next 2 weeks.
You walked into a great situation with Andretti Motorsports and had lots of great help with your teammates and stuff. Now you're kind of the man this month. It's kind of your team, and you have to kind of take the lead. But you got Andy Brown, who's a veteran engineer, who's been around this place a long time, and you've been on the simulator a lot, true?
Yeah, a lot of work in the simulator. I like the simulator because you can test things on a close environment and a consistent environment. When you are here, everything becomes a little bit wild, you know, with the slipstreams and things like that. So you miss some of the information that is useful. And yeah, you said with Andy and you know, the group of guys that McLaren came to this race, we should be in a good position. And yeah, as I said, you know, I love this place, I love this race, and I missed it last year, but here we are.
All right, we're going to rename him for the month of May. His new name is Fred. Fast Fred. Fernando's too long for us to get in a sentence in a headline. Fast Fred will be out this afternoon about 1 o'clock, boys.
How about that? 4 minutes into the webcast, already a conversation with a two-time world champion. And how about this? Cars are on track in 2019 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We are officially, even though it's an unofficial test session, it's time to get going for the 2019 Indianapolis 500, and a slew of veterans are headed out on the 2.5-mile oval.
Yeah, and probably initially here just some installation checks, so anticipating all the cars will just go out, come back in to make sure that everything is a-okay with these cars. But in the next few minutes, I bet we'll start seeing potentially some qualifying simulations, as we had a list of veteran drivers here, and mostly everyone taking to pit lane. But I mean, with the chance here of rain later on in the day, I think everyone's going to start getting up to speed here very early today. They want to get as many miles in as they can. There's been some changes to the cars, some changes to the tires over the winter, so I think that there's a lot of all the data essentially from last year will be fully erased, and so everyone's going to want to get every single lap they can today.
And one thing that'll play a factor in the early part here today is we're talking about a green racetrack, not only because there's been some rain this week, but just there haven't been cars on track, so the tire wear is going to be significant. How much are you going to learn here in these opening stages with a green racetrack?
I still think that there's a lot you can learn here today. I mean, even though it is a very cold, saturated air, so it actually is going to generate quite a bit more downforce today than it will during race day. So I think the teams will take that into consideration. But it's also another great chance for the drivers, for the veterans, to kind of get the feel for the track again, and especially for the rookies, just to get their bearing. I had a chance to talk to a bit with Marcus Ericsson yesterday, who just had his first test at Texas, but then coming to this place, I mean, this is like no other oval on the planet. So just for them to get their sight lines correct, the turn-in points, and just the way of driving here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, I think there's always something you can learn every lap you do here.
The veterans get 4 sets of Firestones throughout the day, so they'll have to conserve those a little bit. Normally, you're getting 30, 35 laps, something out of it. I'm told this opening stint might even be half of that, 15 or so. However, you still get a feel of what the car is like when the tires are worn out. So there is something to learn.
Yeah, there absolutely is, and there's a new tire model for this year. Last year, if you remember, in traffic, the cars were very, very sensitive. Essentially, when you drove in dirty air and that turbulent air behind someone, the front would just kind of pick up and move you up towards the edge of the racetrack. And so Firestone have made a lot of work with their tire compound to try and make it be not as load sensitive through the middle of the corner. So it's going to be a steep learning curve, and I think that's what a lot of the learning today is going to be all about.
So Joseph Newgarden is the first that's finished up the installation lap, and he's ready to pound some laps out here today. And one of the things we're also going to be watching is spotting liveries. 4 or 5 new ones, even from some full-timers, were spotted back in the garage yesterday. Some made their way to social media, so this is going to be fun today. You're going to need a program to pick out the race cars. We recognize Joseph Newgarden, though, with the Hitachi colors. By the way, he's the current points leader in the NTT IndyCar Championship.
Yeah, and such a consistent start to the season for Joseph Newgarden, and doing exactly what he wasn't able to do last year so far, which was just stay consistent. When the pace wasn't quite there last year, he would have a bit of an up-down kind of run, but this year looking rock solid. But to your point on the liveries, man, it's going to be difficult to pick out Will Power because he's in an all-black car,
yeah,
and he's